guys, how's it going? I'm really excited to share with you guys a video. Today is Thursday. By the time I get this video out, I've been kind of feeling under the weather these past couple days, and the cold's been coming up, but it feels like I'm finally going to be easy, and I'm very excited because Spider-Man, I was inspired to review all 5 of the Spider-Man movies once a month leading up to Civil War because Spider-Man's going to be in it, and I've always wanted to review the films and revisit them and tell them about it because I love these movies. You guys know that. They're really important to me. So let's begin. 2002 was kind of weird because I remember as a kid, I never saw really much superheroes. Superheroes were a big part of my life. As a kid, I've always wanted to be Spider-Man. I've always wanted to do that. In 2002, I was exactly like 7 going on 8. And I remember my mom taking me because I lived on a military base in Florida. Most of you guys know that. Most of you don't. But for those who don't, I lived on a base in Florida. My dad was in the Air Force for 21 years. And I remember my mom taking me to see Spider-Man in 2002. And it changed my life forever. This was the first time I ever saw a live-action film in the theater. And it was a big experience because I got to experience the kind of low and the high and the lows of superhero movies. And no, we didn't really get much because we were still entering the sadness of superhero movies in the 90s, such as Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, Superman the movie. So this was kind of big. The only big movie that we had was X-Men the year before, a few years back. And that wasn't really much. Blade, I wouldn't really count as it, but it still was a great movie. I remember seeing this movie, and I remember saying that this is one of the best, one of my favorites, because this is a very impactful film to me. And going into this movie, I was going and saying that I know there's going to be flaws, I have to handle it. If there's flaws, I'm going to acknowledge them. There are some flaws, but I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man was as a kid, one of my favorite superheroes, was my favorite before Batman. I remember this was being one of my favorite movies ever, and the DVD ended up coming out on my birthday, which is November 1st. I remember my aunt buying me that movie. I remember Spider-Man having a big impact on my life. I remember having a scratch disc. This was great, and I love this movie. I remember as a kid, I used to watch the 90s cartoons every day on TV. It was just nuts. I went back and watched the 80s cartoons. My dad thought they were weird. I used to watch the 60s. I've seen the 60s cartoon. They're kind of silly because he goes like this instead of doing like the kind of thing. And I remember seeing this film and I remember having a big impact on my life. And knowing that I have recently watched all the 70s, and it's so bad, but it's so good. So seeing this movie was a big impact because I looked it up. James Cameron was really going to try to make a superhero movie. Now I don't think he's ever going to do it because he was trying to make a Spider-Man movie. Never worked out. And so when you hear Sam Raimi, who did the Evil Dead films, which are fantastic films, and they each get better with each installment, I really had a lot of fun with this movie. I really enjoyed Spider-Man. Sam Raimi knew going into this that he's been a fan of the comics. He's respect the comics, and that's what I admire. He's not doing kind of like what Mark Steven Johnson did with Ghost Rider or with Daredevil, with movies that had no knowledge, that someone who came from making good movies. He made some great films before, mostly horror, but coming into the superhero genre, he made it his own, and he really knocked it out of the park. Tobey Maguire is, to this day, still the best Peter Parker we've ever had, and it really relates to him. James Franco is a great Harry, and I like how he's really betrayed. Kristen Dunst, the relationship between Peter and Kristen Dunst. And I don't like giving away personal information, but I thought maybe I'd do it for this one. I was a kid, but coming out of high school, I remember watching this film again because I understand how he was very shy to talk to this hot girl, this pretty girl, that he was very shy to talk to. And I remember doing that. In high school, freshman year, I liked this girl who was way, way hotter than I ever was. And it didn't work out. And I know how that feeling was. And seeing Peter Parker in that film, I've always felt like that. Like, I don't want her to tell her. It could ruin the friendship. It could really damage what makes us whole. And I think the way Peter and MJ have a relationship, it works. This relationship works. And I really enjoy the film for that. Also, William Dafoe, perfect casting as Norman Osborn. He really wanted this role. Like, he went out for it. And I remember I looked at research that he really went out for this role. And he definitely wanted the role. He really did. And he really wanted this role, and he got it. But I think there's a lot to say about certain amounts of the film that definitely overshadowed. There is absolutely ways, and I gotta say, the music by Danny Elfman still to this day is the best Spider-Man music we have. We've had Danny Elfman, though we have James Horner, rest in peace, and much like that, what Danny Elfman did with the score is he made it his own. I love the score to this movie. I still work out with this score. a lot. I love this movie. I love everything about it, but there are problems. To me, the movie does feel rushed, but William Dafoe also has a Power Ranger. A lot of people say he looks too much like a Power Ranger. I understand. I really do. And I think he looks interesting. The movie does have flaws. It feels a bit too rushed, and it feels a bit too much at points. But I still love the film. And I want to say, spoilers if you guys have never seen it, but you probably should. The way this movie ends, perfect. Spider-Man gets his ass handed to him. He gets the shit kicked out of him. And audiences react as Sam Raimi really went physical on this scene. And you saw the horror of a superhero getting beat up. Movies work when superheroes are vulnerable. Not everybody can be immortal. You have to go through stuff, and I think this movie works to its advantage. Guys, yes, there are problems, but also one of the top 5 best action choices of all time is J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. I love this guy. He's still, in this opinion, funny as hell. You want no freelance? Freelance! Look at your pack of best holiday meat. And of course, people say the movie is cheesy. There's not as much cheesiness as you expect Spider-Man to be like he was. There's some. I mean, like saying, like, the scene in the wrestling where he's like, you got a cute little outfit. Did mom and dad buy that for you? Or like when he shoots J. Jonah Jameson in the mouth and he goes, hey, Jay, let mom and dad talk for a while. You see, there is some valuable things, and we're going to get into more of that later on. But I really enjoy this movie. This is a fun movie. Does it have problems? Yes, the film rushes a bit too much. I'd like to know more about it. But as a film overall, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie went to the advantage, and it really came as a surprise. The movie made so much. It was like the first movie to make 100 or something on a weekend, and it was nuts. So that's my review of the Spider-Man 2002 film. I'm going to give it an A. I think, yes, it has problems, but I still really enjoy this movie for what it was. And if you guys like this type of movies, then you guys will love this movie. Guys, I'm looking forward to getting you my guilty pleasure first review for The Mummy coming out later this week. And by the time this video is up, I already will have Kung Fu Panda and reviews for 50 Shades of Black. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best as always. I'm going to try to see Jane Got a Gun in the next couple days. I've been kind of feeling ill, so I'm going to try to get better and then go see the film. Guys, thank you so much for watching as always. And stay tuned for my review of Spider-Man 2 in the next upcoming weeks. I'll be doing this month to month. Looking forward to getting that to you guys. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, I want to point one thing out. There's a scene that I really love the humor, where Peter Parker goes, when he has this web, and the way he goes, dun, 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 dun. I love that. And also, there's one other thing. The scene, I want to end with this. Fly, up in the white web. Go, go web, go. He has humor, and I really enjoyed that. I thought I'd point that out, but guys, thank you so much for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.